Hello and welcome to this special mini-series for International Development Week. Each day we'll be looking at different areas of our work to give you an update about how the pandemic have affected these and what changes we might see in the future. Today we are focusing on the theme of emergency response, and I'm speaking with Jason Emmett, who's the project advisor for international emergencies. Jason, thanks so much for coming onto this podcast and telling us a little bit about the thematic area you're working on with SED UK. So that's emergency response all over the world. You've obviously been right in the thick of the action with COVID over these last 18 months. Tell us a little bit about how COVID has affected emergency response projects and the ones that you've been working on.
Like you said, really been right in the middle of it, really. The COVID response has been an interesting one because, this is the first time where, as an organization, we've had to think globally rather than country specific. And, that presents its challenges in its own way. Like most organizations, we've got the resources we have and trying to manage that across, I think the Salvation Army is in 132 countries. So, that's been a real challenge, but also at the same time, we've come together, we've responded where we can, and it's been a challenge.
And what kind of differences has COVID made to the way that we work in these international projects? Has there been any changes in how we respond as an organization post-COVID?
Communities are struggling with price inflation as well, access to simple resources such as PPE to protect themselves with COVID. But that also presents a twofold problem for us as an organization, because actually, to run programs is becoming inherently more expensive. So we've got to adapt and think differently on how we build these programs now.
So costs are going up. We're going to have to think differently in how we adapt to that. What are some of the longer term changes that COVID has brought in that will continue with us post-pandemic?
I think some of the longer term changes for us specifically as an organization is that the way we tend to work is through our in-country partners. And with larger scale disasters, we used to pull on resources from, in terms of human resource, from other territories within the army itself. And we're noticing that maybe that's something that we don't need to do anymore, or how we provide that support will look different. Whereas before we may have provided human resource, maybe it will look like that we provide more of a financial resource so that can be sourced locally. So I think that the mode and the way that we do programs, if countries are still struggling economically in terms of price inflation, do we need to look at maybe trying to get the finance closer to the communities, so that actually we're looking to support communities, whereas a lot of aid would be bought centrally and then distributed. But I believe we're going to see changes like that.
That's great. Thank you, Jason, for giving us just a little taste and insight into how your area of work is changing. It's really great hearing your perspective. Thank you. As always, you can find out more information on our website. Follow the links in the information we've posted on this episode. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow and subscribe for news of upcoming episodes. Thanks for listening.